Hooray for Hollywood. Oh, hello there. I am Stan the Movie Man, and this is my review of A Haunting in Venice. It is based on the Agatha Christie book, Halloween Party, and it is a Hercule Poirot mystery, which means, of course, once again, Kenneth Branagh is both the star and the director of A Haunting in Venice. It stars Branagh along with Kyle Allen, Camille Cotton, Jamie Dornan, Tina Fey, Jude Hill, Ali Khan, Emma Laird, Kelly Riley, and more. It is the story of Hercule Poirot in his later years. It's 1947. He's in Venice, and he has retired from detecting. He has a bodyguard, Vitale, played by Riccardo Scamarcio. My apologies if I screw up any of these names. Who accompanies him everywhere he goes, and he keeps people who are begging Poirot to take their case from bothering him, going so far as to knock a guy off a bridge into a canal of Venice. Poirot is approached by a mystery writer by the name of Ariadne Oliver, played by Tina Fey. Oliver is based essentially her most popular character off of Poirot after following him around on an earlier case. And she wants him to come with her to a party. It is a Halloween party. It is at a palazzo of a former opera singer named Rowena Drake, played by Kelly Riley. That was the location of a tragedy. Multiple tragedies, actually, because back during the time of the plague, orphan children were locked in the basement and allowed to die. So it is said that the children are constantly trying to punish people, specifically doctors and nurses, who locked them in the basement and left them to die. A famous psychic medium by the name of Joyce Reynolds, played by Michelle Yeoh, is invited to come to the palazzo following a Halloween party for current orphans, where they are given candies and treats and they play games and things of that nature, and they wear costumes. And then after the party, there's going to be a seance where Reynolds is going to try to contact the spirit of Alicia Drake, who in flashbacks is played by Rowan Robinson. Alicia is the daughter of Rowena Drake, who got some malady at some point and then appears to have killed herself. They found her floating in the canal outside the palazzo. So, of course, Poirot does not believe in such things as spirits, the afterlife, or even God. And he is there at the writer Oliver's behest so that he can figure out her tricks and expose her as a fraud. He actually does expose some of the fraud, where two young people who accompany her, one of whom we meet during the seance, Nicholas and Desdemona Holland, played by Ali Khan and Emma Laird, two Romani orphans who have been traveling as Reynolds' assistants. At some point during the seance, Reynolds goes into this trance. She spins around in the chair, apparently with, from the energy of the spirit. She makes all sorts of terrible noises and contorts her face, And then when she stops spinning, she says, "Mama," in the voice of a child. And that is when Rowena Drake, is totally buying into this. And she, Reynolds then says that Alicia Drake was murdered. She did not die of suicide, that she was murdered. And she's spinning around in the chair again, and she's pointing at people, or she's just pointing. She doesn't actually point at anyone specifically, but she implies through her spirit voice that the person responsible for her death is in that room. There is an attempt on Poirot's life after the seance is completed, and then there is a murder, a new murder. And Poirot locks all the doors to the palazzo and tells everybody they can't leave until he figures it out. But Poirot's having some problems. He's hearing voices, he's seeing things, and he's having difficulty concentrating, which for Hercule Poirot is bad. He is trying to figure out how the tricks that Ms. Reynolds pulled were carried out, as well as trying to figure out who committed both the murder of Alicia Drake and the new murder that has occurred. And I don't want to spoil that for you. I wasn't a huge fan of the first two Poirot stories. Death on the Nile, I thought was sort of clumsily handled, and they sold the thing that would solve the case real early. And I thought Murder on the Orient Express did nothing new that the version that from like the 70s didn't do. So I was a little disappointed in both of those movies. But Murder in Venice is actually quite good. The mixing of the murder and the paranormal, and Poirot being sort of knocked off his game by something, it adds a certain texture and flavor to this particular mystery movie, and making it just that much more satisfying when Poirot solves the case. Again, the thing that will eventually lead to the solving of the crime gets sold a little too hard. So when that thing comes up more than once, that is probably going to play a part in solving all of these crimes. So I gotta knock it down for that. They just for whatever reason want to show their hand too early. I guess so the audience feels like they're involved, or is almost as smart as Poirot, but it brings the quality down a little bit. But otherwise, A Murder in Venice is, A Haunting in Venice, my apologies, is a lot of fun. I enjoyed it, and I'm giving it 4 stars. Go to stayinthemovieman.com to read my complete review of A Haunting in Venice. Listen to Comedy, Tragedy, Marriage, a podcast where my wife and I take turns watching a movie, and then take turns selecting a movie to watch, and then we watch it together, and then sit down and discuss it and share that discussion with you about why we liked it, loved it, or loathed it. You can find that wherever you get podcasts, including Spotify. And as always, you can follow me on Twitter or X, depending on your preference. You can follow me there at MovieManStan. You can also follow me on Threads and Spoutable. Also, you can follow me there at Stan the Movie Man, because that was available on both of those, as opposed to when I created my Twitter account back in the day when it was still called Twitter, and Stan the Movie Man wasn't available. Anyway, thank you very much. We'll talk at you later. Bye-bye.